Yes, good morning, good morning, people. Good morning. Yeah, oh no, I should say good afternoon here. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, wherever where you are on the planet. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Sunday, June 8th, 2025, and the time here in Rwanda is 1:24 p.m. How you all doing? Boy, I was having some difficulty getting into this app, StreamYard. Yep, having some difficulty there. Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. Things happen for a reason. Yes, let me know. Just trying to get the right position of this device here in my hand. Yes, it's a beautiful day. I'm taking it easy. And I want to talk about, well, I was just watching these two videos on Burkina Faso, and its new leader, Captain Ibrahim uh, Traore. And they were discussing on this video, they were talking about the cashew nut. Yeah, cashews I like. Yeah, cashews are expensive. And in Captain Ibrahim Traore's country, they grow cashews. Yep, yep. And not only do they grow the cashews, but it seems that, well, the new leader really wants to push forward in its country's development. The first thing I heard was about the tomatoes, actually. Okay, the tomatoes, and I'm well. Right now, I am living in the country of Rwanda. And yeah, we grow tomatoes here, but like what's happening in Burkina Faso again, I don't really know a lot about Burkina Faso, but we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you, Burkina Faso. We've been, here in America and Americans abroad. We've been hearing about you. We've been hearing about this new. They said he's 35 years old, and he had the French military had them to leave the country. They want to end this control that colonialism or post-colonialism had on its country. And they're saying no more, that they want to develop themselves. And I'm saying, finally, finally, finally. Yeah, we're rooting for you, Burkina Faso and all of Africa. Yeah, I moved to Africa, or Rwanda at that, about a year and a half ago. And I still love my country of America. Yes, I'm from America. I'm from New York City, and things are just going haywire. Things are not making sense right now. But I did leave. Um, yeah, things were just getting kind of wild for me in New York City. And I was concerned about my safety and my little dog's safety, and said that two of my three dogs had passed away shortly upon arriving. And so I have my little boy dog, Lavender. Sometimes I feature him in my videos. But yes, I've been here for a year and a half. And I still watch news that's happening in America, and those videos I've been getting, me and other relatives about Africa and Burkina Faso, and I've been um, sharing videos that I find. Yes, hello, Vera. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, listener. Yes, hello. And yeah, I want to talk about this. I mean, just watching this program, and Burkina Faso is now developing its cashew nut industry. And you start wondering, well, what's taking you so long? We're rooting for you. What's taking you? What's taking Africa? Especially West Africa. It's tropical. They can grow a lot of stuff there. And I guess you got to think big. You got to think big. Yeah. Hey, I see you. Okay, I'm just seeing it. Hey, Nubian. I'm just seeing your you in the comments section. Hey, yeah, it's good to see you. Hello, Nubian. Good to see you always. Yeah. Um. So, yeah, my yeah, we're all rooting for Africa these days. I um. I mean, learning about that Burkina Faso is now going to develop. Yeah, first we heard about the tomatoes. They're processing tomatoes. They're doing canning of the tomatoes, and they're making tomato paste. And I did not know that there was I mean, about tomato paste. Wow. Yeah, I personally don't use tomato paste, but I've seen it before in America. And once in a blue moon where I lived, my mom had used it, but not often. But tomatoes supposed to be very good for you. It has a lot of vitamins and things like that, and it's very healthy. And so uh, they're processing their own tomatoes and they're creating a market. And now with the cashews, and boy, cashews in America are expensive. And the cashew nut grows also in Burkina Faso. And there were some problems in the past, and their new leader, uh, Captain Ibrahim, is developing factories, different factories, at least for the tomatoes. But they they want to like their market in the past. Yeah, the cashew nut grows from a tree, and they were explaining that it's like a little fruit, almost looks like a persimmons, and then on the outside, connected to this fruit, is this nut, and it has to be harvested. It's a whole process of harvesting just that little nut. And in the past, they will throw away the fruit, and because the so-called market, as they call it, only needed the nut. And so their new leader in Burkina Faso, that's a country in West Africa, by the Sahel of Western Africa. Um, it's like the border where the Sahara Desert and the tropical portion, so they have, I think, like two extremes. They have a tropical section, then they have the another portion that's kind of like desert like. But the part that's fertile, they are growing these nuts. I never knew what it looked like. The they call it the cashew apple, and I even took a picture of it. I took a screenshot of it to understand what this fruit looked like. Maybe on the thumbnail when I upload this live stream, maybe I'll change this. the thumbnail to what this cashew apple looks like. But he decided, hey, let's utilize, even though the market just is calling for the nut. But he said, we're going to do more than just the nut. Um, they're going to process more portions of it. They're going to take the what they call the fruit portion of this cashew tree, and they're going to process it to make vinegar, wine, and what else? Vinegar and wine, um, and I think also the fruit itself. Oh, the juice. Oh, I gotta forget that. The juice of this fruit. They said the juice is sweet. It's all edible. So it's like, wow. I mean, listening to this, it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you not do that? Why would you take the whole process? If it's edible, drink it. Well, so, yeah, so they want to do more than just processing the nut. Um, because they said that they weren't benefiting, the economy in Burkina Faso was not benefiting from just, they didn't have leverage, they were saying. They weren't having the leverage in the market of pricing. Just give us the nut, and we give you whatever what we give you for it. And usually they were Europeans or Western countries. And they would use the nut for other products. And that's where the money comes in, people. It seems like all these videos that I'm watching about Africa and products, the real wealth to the product is when you take that product and you turn it into something else. And it's like, duh, why wasn't it being done before? Um, so I guess they were growing, much of Africa, they were growing or, producing something really for somebody else slash the Westerner. And that it didn't give them the leverage of how much you could buy for it. It's confusing to me. I'm not in that industry. I don't understand the industry. Just like I'm thinking like oil. Okay, people, what do you call it? Crude oil. Okay, they have refineries and then they make gasoline out of it and get a lot of money. But I thought that like Saudi Arabia, okay, they process this crude oil, I believe, and they're flourishing. They are flourishing. So I don't understand. Is it that they're doing the whole processing? And I also understand that crude oil, you could make it into petroleum jelly. You use it to, you know, um, use it on your lips and hands. Your crack feet and things like that. But you would figure that you have a product. Why wouldn't you want to process it? I guess maybe with some products, if you don't have the infrastructure, if you don't have the infrastructure to take, for example, the cashew nut and to make it into other products. I mean, like in America, they I mean, they might roast the nut, and it's really fantastic. You can make it creates a nice smooth, like you want to make a smoothie. Yeah, you put a little bit of cashew nut in it, and you put it in a blender. It's fantastic. It's real smooth. I had some cashew nuts by chance. I have some, and that's what I've been using for it to get some protein and everything. You can get them raw, or you can get them roasted. I like them raw. But don't eat too much of it because it does make your skin break out. It's known for doing that, but it's fantastic. You can make it into peanut, like a cashew brittle. You take the nut and you get this you melt sugar, and you go mix it with other stuff, and then you pour that syrup over the nut. Oh, honey, oh man, it's good. You could pour chocolate over it too if you really want to go crazy on it. Yeah, there's so much you could make. Look at the cocoa. West Africa grows cocoa. Yeah, what country was that now? Oh, what's that country's name? Um, Ghana. Ghana grows cocoa pods, cocoa, and but they just take the nut, the raw part. They do roast it, and then they ship it out. But the real wealth, people, the real wealth behind that cocoa. You make cocoa powder. I mean, they have this cocoa powder in America, man. You could make chocolate cookies, chocolate ice cream, um, chocolate bars. It's endless. But you have like Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland that's known for chocolate making. Why didn't they make them? Come on. Why aren't they making products out of it? Well, the only thing I can think of is that, well, okay, they don't really eat chocolate in this part of Africa, I guess. They grow it, but they don't really use it. I mean, if anybody is from um, Ghana um, or Burkina Faso regarding the cashew nut, you know, some products are grown at a place, but they don't utilize it, and it's a little confusing because I think it's indigenous. At least the cocoa is indigenous into West Africa. Or I think Mexico also uh, has cocoa. It's a tropical plant. That's all that I know. But it's like um, I'm very very much excited about Burkina Faso. I've been getting a lot of videos, referrals, um, recommendations from YouTube regarding Burkina Faso's new leader. He's only 30. They say he's only 35 years old, and he's taking um at least with the tomatoes that they're growing, that it's owned by the people, that the people had, if I understood right with the video, that they pitched in the money, so the company's actually the people's, and they're making products out of the tomatoes, and it's fantastic. And it's owned by the people now. So this is something that's very powerful. That you have companies, and just like in America, they have companies that process foods, and people work in the factories. But just imagine if you work at a factory that the people own stock in it or something like that. So when the company makes money, they make money. And if they feel that it's a sense of ownership, they're going to work harder for, to keep the product. And I think that is powerful. I think this company called, back in America where I'm from, I think it was Home Depot. I think it was Home Depot. And early in the my known history about Home Depot, they were they sell household things to keep up your home. Like you could buy light bulbs, things for gardening, anything to upkeep your home. Tiles, I think tiles. I could be wrong about the tiles, but wood. I mean, just everything, everything. Yeah, I love that store. And I was told back in the day that the people that work in that store, they have stock in that store. Yeah, So when they leave, if they decide they want to leave the company, they whatever stock that they bought, they can take it with them, or sell it, whatever. And it was not like a fancy job. Um, it's one of those jobs where it's like a warehouse, and you're on your feet all day. But I remember back in the 1990s, people were proud to work at that store. If that is the correct store that I remember, they worked hard, worked long hours, and they were making money. Yes, because it was they owned stock in the store. So I'm wondering within Burkina Faso, with their tomatoes that they now are processing for the market, world market. Um, yeah, it sounds like a good idea if the people actually own it. Some places, is it really owned by the people, or is it what you call government? And because sometimes you might hear, oh, it's the people's money, right? But then someplace, oh, it's the government. The people, the government is supposed to work for the people, but we all know at times what happens. But I'm very hopeful that that I hear right, that those people who work at that tomato factory are actually owners of it, and maybe they can really diversify. Uh, if it gets big enough, I think they'll open up a third tomato processing plant. So it's creating jobs. It's creating jobs. And so I guess the same with the cashew nuts. I mean, when you actually see, when you look at something, see, I'm from a big city in New York City, and we don't, it's not the tropics, and so I don't know what some of these plants look like, and so when you actually see a product, because I've eaten cashew nuts. And you look at it and say, that's it? And it's like this small little piece that's sticking out of the fruit. This looks like a persimmon. I'm wondering, is the persimmon the 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 cashew apple? I don't know. Are there any experts there, listening? Does anyone know whether the what's called the persimmon, is that actually the cashew apple, where the cashew nut comes from? Please let me know, because I do not know. But either way, to they're starting to see the bigger picture in Burkina Faso. Yes, so I mean, things like on the surface, people might say, "Oh, so what about a cashew nut or whatever?" But a product is a product. A product is a product, and when that product hits a world market, you can become rich. Yeah, cocoa. You go out and try to buy chocolate bars in America. It is expensive. Chocolate is a very expensive item. Yeah. And you can make so much stuff out of it. I used to be in the baking field. Honey, yeah, chocolate could come in these big boxes, and it's processed. Like when you're working on a large scale, you're working in a large professional kitchen, and the little chocolate drops, and you could scoop it out, and you could, and then you melt it, and you make desserts out of it, you know. Um, it's pricey. I don't even know how much one big box like that. I think, what's that? What size is it? It might be a 20-pound box or something like that, or 30-pound of just pure chocolate, little nubs, little droplets. And yeah, so something as simple as chocolate. When you look at what the cocoa pod looks like, it looked like a weird fruit. It looked weird, people. It's this big. It's like a big, like a yellowish orange thing on the outside, like a big. Almost looks like a papaya, in my opinion. And then when they crack it open, it almost looks like, like corn, like large corn kernels. It's like a whitish thing, like real big. And then these things are broken up and then they ferment it. Yeah, they have to ferment it first for a couple of days and then they I think they dry it out under the sun. It's a whole process. And so what you're really getting when you're getting the chocolate, it's the reason why it's brown like that because they roast it. And then you can melt it. It's blowing my mind, because I mean, I take these foods for granted. It's like you think that a chocolate bar uh, or peanut brittle grows on trees. No, you gotta process this raw material that you might just think, it's nothing, but it is something. People, Africa, it seems like Africa is waking up. Please wake up. Please wake up from your slumber. Yes, please wake up. They're taking these products now, and they're no longer, at least in Burkina Faso is waking up and they say, you know, we're not going to rely on just one product from this uh, tree. We're going to make juice, like a juice beverage, the nut of the cashew, wine, and vinegar. Fantastic, fantastic. Create a market. Create, yeah, maybe you can have like a food fair. You have food scientists, people. You have food scientists in America. They take a product and they say, what can you make out of this? There's a famous, how can George Washington Carver. He was a scientist. He was a black American scientist. Yeah, did you know people he had gotten castrated? Did you hear about that? Yeah. They had castrated the poor black guy as a youth. Evil, yeah, there are evil things that happen in America. Yeah. But either way, he was brilliant. He worked in Tuskegee University, and a real, Black Americans back then in the day. Oh God, how many? When was this now? Um, I think he was born in the late uh, late 1800s. Yeah, he died in the 1900s. Yeah, I got to look that up. Yeah, could someone look up when George Washington Carver, when he was born and when he passed away? Um, yeah. So either way, George Washington Carver, he was a scientist. Yes, evil was done upon him. He was born during evil times in American history, but he didn't let that stop him. The greatness is what's in his mind. He was a brilliant man and he devised many uses for the peanut. Yeah, I'm sure we've all seen a peanut, right? They grow peanuts in Rwanda. Yes, they do. And actually, I want to get a peanut machine, a machine that could grind up peanuts and make it into peanut butter. That's what I want. I want to get that. Yeah, I do. I do like cooking my own food. I get inspired by products and everything. You know, um, people in America, people around the world, but a lot in America, especially if you live in a big city. I mean, if you're a country person, okay. But if you're a city person like I was, many of the products you get in the store. So your bread, people don't really make their bread anymore. Uh, People eat out. It's a market now that you go to work and you don't cook your food. You just go and buy your food. Buy, like the bagel. You can put the egg on the bagel or cream cheese. People go out, or the croissant. People go out and get a quick snack or they get the coffee. They don't cook anymore. Everything, or the lunch, they don't make. They don't bring their lunch. They want to look cool. Lunch in To buy lunch in New York City, man, it's expensive. They have these. I know I'm kind of going off track, but it's all related. Everything is related when I talk about. They have what you call like a buffet. They have the all set up, the types you could select a whole thing of food, and you buy by the weight. You know, some places are better at it than others, and you know who's making the money in that. People from Asia. Yes, they see. You got to think smart. You know, they know what people like. They find out what people like, and then they market it. And they know people now in New York, where I'm from, are too busy to cook the breakfast or cook prepare the lunch. So they go to these places and have the food. The food is already prepared. You could select a whole variety of foods, and they weigh it. So you select, they get like a container, and you put what you want on it, and then they have a scale, and then weigh it, and they charge you per pound, and the poundage, it's increasing more and more every day. um, it was going up to, I think, 12.99 a pound of food, and that's a lot, because see, you get a little something with a bone, like a chicken leg or something, and then the gravy, it's heavy, or mashed potatoes, boom, it is expensive. So what I'm getting, why I mentioned things like that. See, things on the surface might seem simple. Okay, like, oh, okay, okay, so okay, you got a nut, someone's selling a nut, cashew nut. Okay, someone's selling tomato. But when you then take that bare essential, that product, and you make something out of the product. Just like in New York City, when someone makes a product out of that chicken, you make a chicken stew, or you can make barbecue chicken. That's where the money comes in. So whether you take the cashew nut, or you take a cashew nut, and you can make it into candy, like peanut brittle type of candy, or other things. You can grind it up. You could, sprinkle it on ice cream cones. All these things. Maybe the tree. I wonder, is the leaves, are the leaves edible, or could you take the leaves and make it into a fiber, or make clothing? Like hemp. Like hemp. Hemp was used in America, and they used hemp to make the American flag, and it's very durable. Um, it's great for hot weather. And what else? And that, yes, they did use, so there's a certain type of hemp that that's illegal. You cannot smoke it. But you have products, and it's the manufacturing of taking that product and making and turning it into something else. And for whatever reason, I would imagine that, okay, you had colonialism, but colonialism left West Africa about 60 years ago. So, what was happening in 60 years? In 60 years, what was going on? Well, I could only, what it looks like. Okay, what it looks like, people, what it looks like that you had after colonialism. The colonials may have physically left, but they made a deal with certain countries. They said, yeah, we'll leave and give you a sense of independence, but we want you to continue producing this particular product, and we're going to buy it from you, but we're going to buy it from you at a cheap rate, but we'll be your mate, your one of your only customers. And then we're going to take that product, make something out of it, and then we're going to sell it back to you. That Or you know what else that could have been done? Okay, that yeah, the colonials might have left, and then they're being paid. And I think this is a big aspect of what's going on. For 60 years in many of these places, they said, okay, we'll leave your country, give you a sense of independence, but you're still going to behave or produce certain things, and we'll pay you under the table. We're going to pay you X amount of money to not take the products that you make and to process it into other goods and services. Promise us you're not going to do that, but we'll pay you some money every year. Okay. And these leaders then say, okay. And they pocket the money while their country is starving. And they just get the product. They have a product, whatever that product is. They, whether it's rubber, uh, gold, wood, whatever that product is, they sell it to that Westerner, and then they get money on the side to not produce, and they're short-sighted. They're short-sighted. Yeah, that leader may be pocketing all the money, but it's still under the amount of what the Western country is getting. You're settling for peanuts. You're settling for peanuts, Africa, or any other developing country. The power is not just taking the raw material and just shipping it out, or like vanilla, the vanilla bean. The vanilla bean is one of the most expensive products out there to grow. The vanilla bean. Yes, and it's a special process of fertilizing that flower. It's a special technique of fertilizing the flower to produce the bean. And I think the bean has to be fermented. They have to process that bean, and then they ship it out to France. Yeah, France love their vanilla beans. Yep, yeah, France. It's really something. France was a colonial power, and did you know, like, France is the most visited country on the planet? Did you know that? So don't you think if it's the most visited that they're doing commerce? Each person, let's say they go to the airport, they want to get a something to eat. Well, they eat there, and they become rich. That's how that country does it. It has its former colonials, and everybody goes there. They get a lot. They still have like in the Caribbean, they own Martinique and Guadeloupe and French Guyana. Yep, and other places in the Pacific Islands, and they grow these other overseas department of France. They grow products for them. They grow bananas. That coconut. They grow the vanilla bean. Yeah, France is something, boy. Yeah, they get their resource. It's constantly being shipped to France, and they process it. They process these products, but the people left behind, they don't thrive. And so also you see in America, like they have on a product, written on the product that it was manufactured. The I forget the terminology, but that it was a fair trade, yeah, fair trade logo on it. That the product like shea butter, that it was gotten by fair trade. What really does that mean that it got it by fair trade? If that country that's only produce that's just taking, let's say, the shea butter and processing it, You know, don't they? If they're only making one product out of that, the shade tree, it's going to be just like what's happened with the cashew nut in Burkina Faso. They ain't going to go nowhere, and it's like slave labor. They're getting peanuts for their products, so to speak. Yes, pun intended. Yes, pun was intended in that. Yeah, that means those of you who don't know that they're just getting peanuts. That is an expression that they're not getting anything. They do all this work, 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 and but what they get it back is really nothing. They get it peanuts. So, so it's really something that um, it looks like Africa is waking. I hope so. I hope so. It looks like some of the African countries are waking up. You had 60 years to produce factories. What's taking so long? Yeah, I think what happened, those leaders in these countries, they were pocketing the money. They were getting money from the Western power to not um, manufacture goods from those products. And so the people suffered. But now it looks like Africa is waking up. At least in Burkina Faso now wants to produce. Oh, the program that I was watching, they're doing the roads. They are paving, leveling out the roads now. Now, this is good about roads. See, you got to get your product out there. If you don't have roads that are drivable, how are you going to get your product to the market? Hello, people. That's one of the first things that you should do if you have a country and you want to develop it. You better have good road systems. It's like your vascular system of the human body. When your veins and arteries are clogged, you think that oxygen is going to get to your body? No, it needs a clean path. And same as in nature, when you need to transport your products to another location, it's like the human body. Think of what as within, as without. What's inside the body, how the body works, is how nature runs out there. So you have a product, whether it be the cashew nut, whether it be the tomato, whether it be bananas, whether it be apples, whether it be olive oil, regardless what it is, you better have your transport system available so you can get your product out and you can get it quicker. So let me see. I see I got another note here. Let's see this. Yeah, it's hard to. Oh, I gotta. Okay, Grand Right. Oops. It's hard. Shit. Sorry. Yeah, it's hard for me to. I'm looking at the. Okay. Okay, Nubian is saying false news everywhere in America. She says, glad to see you too. Oops. Glad to see you too. I'm in South. She's in South Carolina. Plan on being here about, I guess. Okay. Okay, she's going to be there for a month or so. Okay. So the first thing, just a different. Okay, I'm just reading. Just a different country. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's hard to navigate. I have my smartphone. I'm on a StreamYard, using a StreamYard app or something. It's kind of hard to navigate on this small screen. Yeah. Um, so I'm really excited to hear the great possibilities. Um, who know, what is going on? Yeah, I guess you had, if you're under colonial powers, you might be afraid, uh, and they just thought, just long that they get in the money in under the table. But after a while, if you're a real man, you're going to be angry. So, get out, get out of our country. Let's develop our own network. Um, it seems like Saudi Arabia is doing very well. You know, why can't other countries do well? They're building well, I should say, they're building the infrastructure. You know, um, but I think there are some things being done. Yeah, some of these countries in the Arabian Peninsula, they're doing a lot of infrastructure, but it seems like they're doing this infrastructure with the Western person in mind. But I'm concerned about, what about the local people? What about them? Some of them might be getting kicked off their land um, for this progress, and some of them were unalive when they said no. Um, you have your own people, and your own people are valuable. And I'm concerned that um, some of these people, like some of these countries are, the people are being paid by the government to not work. And I heard at one time that it was 60,000 American dollars that they would get, each person in that country was getting, to stay at home and do nothing. And consequently, because they're inactive, they're getting diabetes. Yeah, they're getting diabetes. Now, why do you want that for for your people? You don't want that for your people. Okay. Uh, so, without your people, um, who are you building your infrastructure for? The oil's going to run out, and so they're building the infrastructure in prep for when the oil runs out, to, I guess, be more of a tourist-based country in those desert regions. Please don't get rid of your own people. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That's not nice. Um, so, I'm just, it might sound like I'm kind of all over the place, but everything is interconnected. So whether you have a product, whether it's tourism, you know, don't forget about your local people there. And because they're the heart of your country, and or whether you have the cashews, you know, fair trade, yes, and start manufacturing the goods. If you just sell one product, then they're going to sell the product back to you. What they're going to refine the product and sell it back to you at a higher price. That's not business for you. You're losing money. You know, create your own products that you could sell. Your refined products. You have beautiful wood. You could make furniture, beautiful furniture. You can your grown kind grow have your fabrics. All these things. Start selling these products. Start being the master or the captain of your own ship. Yeah, you can do it, Africa. We're all rooting for you. We're rooting for you, Burkina Faso. We're rooting for you, West Africa in general, all of Africa. We want you to do well. And yeah, I'm from America. And right now, America is really going through a lot, a lot, a lot. And I'm very sad. It's being taken over from the inside out. I'm worried that the country that I was born and raised in is going down the tubes. The people, I feel that they want to destroy America and make it into a third or fourth world nation. It's horrible. So I got out. I got out. I'm the only one in my family living in Africa, and I really wanted to work. I wanted to work for me in Africa. Um, it's it's a develop, the place where I live is it's a developing nation. It has so much potential. Um, yeah, we're really rooting for you, Africa as a whole. Um, yeah, so that's what I have to say, and I thank you all for listening. And yeah, let's keep rooting for Burkina Faso. Safety to Captain Ibrahim and all of Africa. Be fair to your people. Yes, be fair to those people, the local people there in that nation, and share the wealth with your people. So thank you again. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Until next time. See ya.